So unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that the Vasil hard fork is coming to Cardano. This is something the team have been working on for a little while now. We've got a date. Charles Hodgkinson has said 22nd of September is the date to watch. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what to expect from this Vasil hard fork. We're going to analyze previous hard forks from Cardano to see what happened with the price action, as well as bundle in everything else you need to know about this big upcoming hard fork. Guys, if you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe. If you like this blend between technicals and fundamentals, you're in the right place. Let me know in the comments if you appreciate this type of content. Now, what I want to spend time on is understanding what are the different key areas on Vasil that we need to expect. Now, first and foremost, we want to start by saying that we've got this confirmation from Charles Hodgkinson that they're aiming for September the 22nd. Remember, this has been delayed a few times now, but this is the latest date we've been given. He said it happens to fall on the date of the Bulgarian Independence Day, which is very interesting and obviously not a coincidence. Charles Hodgkinson likes to do things like that, and that's why it falls on the 22nd of September. As you can see, what's so amazing about the date is it randomly and just so happenly, falls on the Independence Day of Bulgaria. Cardano's Vasil hard fork is named after its late Bulgarian community member, Vasil Saint Dubov, who was a chief blockchain advisor at the time, right? So cool. We know that's happening. He gave the live stream saying it's September the 22nd. But what are we expecting from this? What do we expect to see from this hard fork? What are the key things? Now, the first thing we need to understand is that a hard fork is a big upgrade. It's a very big ask. And that's why whenever you see hard forks happening on any blockchain, it's a critical event. Now, fortunately, we've had good occasions where we've seen hard forks go positively, right? Even with Cardano, you had Shelly, you had Mary, you've had Alonzo. Shelly was back in July 2020. You had Mary March 2021. And then later that year in September, you had Alonzo, which brought all the smart contract functionality to Cardano as well. Now, the aim behind Vasil is to bring vast levels of efficiency. This is not to bring smart contracts. Alonzo already did that. This is to bring efficiency. They want to scale and they want to reduce transaction fees. So those are the two areas they want to focus on. Now, in order to do that, this hard fork is being packaged together with a bunch of what are called CIPs, Cardano Improvement Proposals. These are voted on governance proposals and then they're pushed through. Now, there's a bundle in here, but the key two or three we want to look at, the first being CIP 31. Now, CIP 31 is referred to as reference inputs. Now, in other words, think of this like a receipt. So in essence, if you're building a dApp on Cardano, and in fact, let's start off with 33 because that will explain this one a little bit better. Let's start off with the reference scripts. So when you're building a dApp on Cardano, you must write the code in Haskell. That's their native programming language. Okay, if you're doing it on Ethereum, it's Solidity. On Cardano, it's Haskell. That code is then converted to then be readable by the Cardano virtual machine. Okay, on Plutus. Okay, so that needs to then be converted. Now, the issue with that is Plutus scripts aren't kept on the blockchain. So every time you're sending a transaction, you have to refer to this script. Now, if you imagine on blockchain, what is the key to stopping scalability and efficiency? It's the amount of data being pushed from these blocks. So the more data you're having to send in these blocks, the slower the network, the slower the performance, and more expensive the transaction fees because you've got more data in these blocks, so you're sending more blocks, therefore. Okay, so this is an issue, and anything you can do to reduce this is going to be greatly improved. And CIP 3033 with reference scripts, and similarly CIP 3031 with reference inputs helps you to do that. In other words, you can just have a receipt which links back to the script that's already been converted, and you don't have to keep sending it with every package. So you're going to, think of caching. When you use a website, the website caches, and what that means is every time you visit, let's say I'm visiting this website here, it caches it. So next time I refresh, it doesn't have to load it from scratch. It already stored the majority of it, and it just takes the extra. So think of it like that as an analogy. Going to really increase the efficiency and reduce those the amount of data being sent per block, and therefore give you more efficiency. Okay, so that's those two ones. Now with 31, which is the reference input, similar thing, but what it's doing here is it will allow you. It means same thing. You're putting that receipt in, so each time there's an input, you'll be able to access the information without needing to spend it in that transaction. Okay, so again, similar thing, you're reducing the amount of data being sent. So at the moment, in order to get it to work with Alonzo, there was a bunch of these inefficient areas where these things are happening. So now they can take the time to iron those out. Cardano improvement proposal 32 is the inline datums. Okay, so datum can now be stored in output, which can easily be read by other applications. So this is making it easier for other applications to work together, which again improves the ecosystem and helps them expand and gives more use cases for developers. So in essence, all of these three key proposals here on this Vasil hard fork is for developers. And this is the point I wanted to make. Cardano is really going out there to say, you know what? We've noticed that we need developers to come across. And I've said this before. The battle of the layer one space is going to come down to who can attract the best dApp developers. That's all it matters. Ethereum is out and in front because they have the best apps on there right now. Solana did well because a bunch of NFT projects and other projects moved across. Polygon's getting a lot of attention because people are building good stuff over there. There's some good biz dev going on. Cardano understands this is the battleground. You can have the best scalability, you can have the best transaction fees, you can have the best tech. You don't have good use cases, people will not come because they don't have the use cases to come and to use your platform. Okay, so that's what Cardano's realized, and they've realized, let's make it really developer friendly. Let's improve these efficiencies. Let's reduce the cost. Let's make everything easier for them to reference their scripts, keep inline datums with these proposals, and that is what they're packaging into this hard fork, which we're expecting on September the 22nd. Now, what does this mean for price? Right? What does it mean for price? Is there a trading opportunity? What does it mean for your long-term portfolio? We're going to get into it, so make sure you stay tuned till the very end. And in order to do so, let's reference this. Let's reference this script here. And what I want to show you here is the blue lines you're seeing are all the hard forks that Cardano's had. So if you go back to July 2020, the first blue line, you will see Shelly. That was a Shelly hard fork. And then you had Mary. Mary was in March 2021, followed by Alonzo in September 2021. And we're expecting Vasil. It was expected for July, but now it's for September. Okay? So let's see what we can find. What is the trends we can find? Well, you can see in the lead up to every single fork, there has been a euphoric move to the upside. You do get these rallies to highs. Rally to highs, even with Alonzo, a rally to high. But what do you see closer to the area? Closer to the area, you do see more sideways action, and then you do get a fall in price. Now, it's important to note that these were happening during a bull run in Bitcoin. This one is happening during a bear market, so it's very, very different, okay? So we do need to understand that it is a different environment that we're built up in. When you've got this type of news coming out, that you're doing Alonzo hard fork and the market's euphoric, that's a great time to be doing it. Doing it right now is not necessarily going to give you those same advancements. So one thing we can see with Cardano, and I've noticed this a few times, including with the Cardano Coinbase listing, there is a heavy community that likes to trade in and out of Cardano. We've spoken about this before. Cardano's got a really cult-like following, which really does back Cardano, and they hold for the long-term basis. And they'll continue to dollar cost average in despite what's going on. But you then have a bunch of people who like trading Cardano. They don't particularly like Cardano. They just want to see it as a trading movement because they do see that there is big movements in this type of a project. So we have historically always seen buy the rumor, sell the news. Now, you've got to be very, very careful of this. If you're going to buy in the lead up and you can take advantage of that, you've still got plenty of time now between now and the 22nd of September. Don't be surprised to see this kind of a rally leading up to the excitement. But then afterwards, what you tend to see is it's an anti-climax. You get the traders taking their profits. You get this spillover back to the downside, and that can often lead people trapped who are buying the bags at the top. So be very, very careful if you're trading these moves. If you guys want to trade in these moves, you can do so using BYBIT or BitGet, links in the description. The other thing to be very cognizant of is whenever you have a hard fork like this, there could be many, many bugs that come out. So often what you get is on the day of the hard fork going live, there's euphoria. Everyone's really excited. It's gone smoothly. No doubt the Cardano team will be putting out positive news. But then thereafter, you start to hear details. Sometimes hours, if not a couple of days later, you'll hear of this bug or this project suffering or this kind of thing. You need to be very, very careful if you're trading this on the short-term basis. Now let's address the long-term holders. If you're a long-term holder, does it really matter? That's the question. You know, if you're looking at this, whenever you see advancements in a project where you're seeing continued hard forks, what you need to remind yourself is they're making fundamental improvements. So if I bring up the ADA chart here on the weekly time frame, let's do this here, and let's get a cleaner chart here. What you want to ask yourself is if the project is improving, should the price therefore not at some point reflect? So your argument is when you look at Cardano here, from all the way up from this date here to from September 2021, the price has been completely down. And we know that's in line with the wider markets. And we know that obviously Cardano's got extra heavily hit to the downside just because some people really do despise the project. But what we do need to understand is if they're making continued fundamental improvements to the project and you're holding for the long run, that is a good sign. Yes, the bear market won't recognize that now, but at some point, it would have to be priced in. At some point, the market would have to respect the fact that they've made these improvements. Alonzo's working, smart contracts are being deployed, people are using the Cardano network, and therefore, if we were having a price point up there before all of this was happening, right? Before you had all of this use cases and adoption, surely we should be able to at least command a similar valuation, if not at least get back to that $2 range with such better improvements after these SIPs going through SIP 30, 33, 31, 32, which we've just discussed, bringing more efficiency, increasing scalability, reducing transaction fees. So if you're holding for the long run, this is a great step, right? This is a great step that your project that you're invested in is making improvements. They're continually trying to improve the accessibility for dApp developers. That's good. If you're trading on the short term, be very, very careful. Yes, there's always an opportunity to buy the rumor and sell the news. These events often happen to be anticlimactic. I don't expect to see massive roars to the upside. I think it's interesting that it's happening around the same time, about a week later. Is it about a week? Yeah, about a week or so after the ETH 2.0 merge. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence or Cardano kind of having a dig. Maybe this was planned, right? To put it around about the same time, just to try take some of the limelight off. Or maybe they're just protecting each other. If you have two hard forks going on at the same time, then at least you're not causing a double smash for Bitcoin if things go wrong. So at least they're happening in the same time, in the same month. It could be a critical month here, given the two huge hard forks we're expecting this month. Guys, let me know in the comments below, what are you doing with Cardano? What are your thoughts on this Vasil hard fork? Are you expecting big things? Do you think it'll be anticlimactic? Are you trading it? Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Are you dollar cost averaging in for the long term and couldn't care less about the trading momentum? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to go watch this video here, and I'll see you in the next one.